What up, people? Time to talk about 2020 rookie running backs post-draft, 2020 rookie wide receivers post-draft. How do you feel about the landing spots now that we're a couple days into digesting what has happened and what has taken place for those 2020 rookie running backs and wide receivers? We could talk about tight ends and quarterbacks on another show. We'll just tackle the running backs and wide receivers. I'm Smitty. You're watching the Fantasy Football Show. I'm out remote today because I thought it'd be nice to get out of the house, out of the studio, get some fresh air, even though it's nighttime, and talk rookie running backs and wide receivers with you tonight. As you know, what's up, Jason? What's up, everybody? Hit the like on the way in, wipe your feet at the front door. As you know, there are a couple running backs I don't love in terms of the landing spot and really the talent mixed with the landing spot. Akers, I'm not a huge fan of him landing in a Rams uniform. I'm not a huge fan, although I'm hating on him less than I am Akers. That's Swift, DeAndre Swift in Detroit. Not a huge fan of either of these guys for the now or the future, especially given the landing spots. J.K. Dobbins is going to take some time. We'll talk about him, but he has a lot of upside. You guys know I love Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Oh my. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is the next Maurice Jones-Drew. We'll talk about that. And then Jonathan Taylor, mixed bag for 2020, given that, you know, Mac's a good pass-catching running back. He's a good running back. Nyheim Hines is a good pass-catching running back. Hines isn't going to just surrender all of the PPR work. And with a shortened season, offseason for these rookies, the inability to mesh with their teams, the inability to absorb playbooks, the inability to work with the right personnel and get ready for the 2020 season properly. This could have slow starts for all the rookies in terms of how they impact right out of the gate. You might see running backs like Jonathan Taylor not get as many early down carries as you think. He might get eased into the offense over a course of 2, 3, 4 weeks, depending on how everything unfolds moving forward with the NFL. We don't even know what's what at this point. Maybe we start on time. Maybe we don't. Maybe we get the whole season pushed back or forward or whatever you want to say, a whole month and a half, and then we do have time to prepare and get these rookies ready. We don't know yet. We're in a holding pattern until we find out more information and the league gives us any information. But for right now, we have to be safe and assume that the rookies are not going to get the same offseason care and development and evolutionary process getting going for these players and their skill sets and their meshing and absorbing. We got to assume it's going to be a little bit different for these guys, and they're going to have potentially slow starts. So we'll talk about the rookies. JP not buying these rookies in redraft. Doug says Justin Jefferson, Mims, or Clyde. Bro, not even close. Doug, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the 1.01, no question, no hesitation, no equivocation. Clyde Edwards-Helaire. It's not even close, man. Not even close. Not to mention Jefferson and Mims aren't even the number 2. So you're arguing guys that are a little bit later in your rookie draft. I like Mims a lot, but you don't take him number 2. You're arguing guys that aren't even at number 2 or 3 with the number 1.1. So if I'm in your league, I'm going after that 1.1 if you don't see Clyde that valuable. Start buying into it. JP's not buying into the rookies. JP, buy into Clyde. Clyde's going to be good. What's up, Double A? Why do most people have Keyshawn Vaughn so low? Tampa Bay. Because we don't know what's what, man. Vaughn wasn't as touted as the other running backs. So just because his situation is good doesn't mean they're going to for sure lean on him. But I'm like you. I like him. I like him a lot at the right price. And I think he has an opportunity, and there's reason to be excited, and it's good news. Why aren't you happy that people are down on him? You want people to be down on him. You want his ADP low so that you can come in and take him at a low-risk territory. It's good news for you that nobody likes Vaughn. Thoughts on Claypool in Pittsburgh in redraft. None of these rookie wide receivers are going to be amazing in redraft. Maybe Mims has 800 or 900 yards and 5 to 6 TDs, maybe. And I think he's a volume guy in an offense that's perfect for him because guess what? They're going to throw the football a ton. Denzel Mims is going to get a ton of targets. He's on an offense they'll be playing from behind. And guess what happens when you play from behind? A lot of targets, a lot of catches. And Darnold isn't the most accurate quarterback, so it's a perfect fit for Darnold, because when you throw the ball a good foot or 2 or 3 off of your target, who do you want catching the football? The guy with the best catch radius in the entire 2020 NFL draft at the wide receiver position, Denzel Mims. He's the guy you want for that job, to catch an errant pass from an inaccurate Sam Darnold. So I love Mims. CeeDee Lamb could be slow moving. You've got Gallup and Amari Cooper going to command a lot of work. They're going to ease him in, depending again on how much these rookies get meshed into learning and absorbing the playbook and the system and pass blocking and all that. It's gonna take a while for rookies to get, I think, even out of the gate in 2020, unless something drastic happens that we're not expecting and we start on time. We have everything, flowing a month late, but flowing like usual. Then we might see a normal rookie year on time. We have to assume that. You really don't think Justin Jefferson can become number 2 wide receiver? Who said that, Dylan? Who said that I said Jefferson couldn't be? I didn't say that. I said Jefferson's not the number 2 overall player, not wide receiver. So Dylan, don't twist up my words, Dylan. I like Jefferson. I like Jefferson a lot. I think he could easily become the number 2 wide receiver. He can't be the 1.2 though. You're talking about Clyde, or the question above was Clyde, Jefferson, and whoever. That was what I was answering. That you can't argue the 1.1 Clyde against other players like Jefferson, who you could take 4 or 5 overall in a rookie-only draft. 1.02 rookie is Jonathan Taylor, without question, in my opinion, right now. I mean, you could argue him at 1 if you really wanted to. I'm going to argue back because it's Clyde, the Glide. But honestly, the volume should be there in time. Jonathan Taylor's got a tremendous skill set. There's a fumbling problem they've got to work out. We got to see how he does with pass protection. Rivers is new, doesn't have rapport with anybody yet. So you could argue on one side, well, Rivers and the new guy could build a rapport together. Rivers doesn't have rapport with anybody yet. Or you could argue that coaching staff's going to be like, look, we've got a quarterback that doesn't yet know his players. They've got to build rapport. We got to protect him properly. We're not going to screw things up by throwing in a rookie into that mess. So Jonathan Taylor could be eased in differently than you anticipate. Know that. Be patient with that. You draft a rookie in redraft. Be patient with that rookie is what my point is. Even with Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Kansas City is one of the most complicated offenses in the entire league. The playbook is really hard to learn. It doesn't happen overnight. It doesn't even happen in a full season. Damian Williams in 2018, when he had his monster 6-game span of rushing for 10 TDs in 6 games, didn't know the playbook even at the end of the year. After blowing up and having a really good last 6 games of 2018, Dame Williams said, I didn't know the playbook. They had to tell me where to go on a lot of the plays. They had to draw plays just for me because I didn't know everything. And he's not a dumb guy. He just didn't absorb it all yet. So cautiously, optimistically, be ready for Clyde Edwards-Helaire to be eased in a little bit. But he's so explosive, he can take 1 carry to the house, a house call at any moment. The guy can go house, 55-yard run, 75-yard reception for a TD. He's capable of it. So even on a limited basis, I would be tempted to throw Clyde the Glide right into my lineup at my flex spot and eventually hope he climbs into running back 1 territory, which he 100% can in Kansas City. It is the collision of amazing situation meets amazing talent. And Clyde Edwards-Helaire has that talent. Don't let anybody tell you Clyde Edwards-Helaire doesn't have the talent to become a top 5 to 10 running back, if not better, in time. This is Maurice Jones-Drew 2.0. The skill set was there. A lot of people knew this guy had the talent. What a lot of people didn't know, because teams just didn't love him across the board, is that the team that did believe in him the most, we thought Kansas City could buy into him later, but we didn't think they'd draft him early. And that's the beautiful part. Him landing in Kansas City collides elite talent with elite situation, and there really are no glaring risks or red flags for me. I wouldn't call him, a guy that's going to be capable of getting hurt all the time. He has a low center of gravity and balance that you almost can't even find currently today in the NFL. He's got skill sets that aren't in the league anymore, that left the league when Maurice Jones-Drew left the league. He's Maurice Jones-Drew 2.0, a guy at his size and frame, if built properly, becomes a wrecking ball, a little cannonball that has balance, that makes it hard for him to take hits that are going to take a toll. He's slippery. He maneuvers in and out of rushing lanes, passing lanes with almost a majestic, crazy change of directions, Barry Sanders-esque. Not Barry Sanders, Barry Sanders-esque. Don't get your panties in a bunch. Barry Sanders-esque moves. Micro movements. There's a lot of footage on this guy and how he does these micro movements. And what I mean by that is something, you see that? You didn't even see that micro movement coming. Ready? Here's a micro move. The micro movements. And it's amazing because that's what separates him from the other running backs like Akers in this draft class, the micro movement. So his small little movement and change in direction creates an opportunity to miss a defender, avoid a collision, hit a hole faster, find an open rushing lane, press the hole, hit an A gap, find a rushing lane that's barely there. And those micro movements change the direction and that player slips right off him. Something you don't see in Cam Akers' game. Cam Akers is raw. Cam Akers is not disciplined. Cam Akers makes a lot of tiny little technical mistakes. Cam Akers crosses his legs in the backfield. There's a lot of things that make me worried about Cam Akers translating at the next level. Then you mix in that he's playing for the Rams, who failed to use the last running back they drafted really high and went after and got. And I'm receiving a lot of pushback, especially on Instagram, for my doubt on Cam Akers. Maybe I'm a little harsh on him. Maybe the opportunity's more there than I think. But I'm not even talking about Darrell Henderson. I'm not predicting Darrell Henderson to just explode no matter what, because I don't trust the Rams at all. I don't trust them dating back to when they didn't use Todd Gurley in the Super Bowl and said, we forgot to use him. That's what happened. Ever since then, I don't trust the Rams. So I'm not saying that Darrell Henderson's the lock, which people twist up when I say that it's not necessarily going to be the one running back show, Cam Akers show, that people think it's going to be, especially early on, when he's got to learn the offense, learn the playbook, shortened off season, come in and just be the guy. The Rams aren't going to hand the ball off to that guy all the time until he learns the offense. Doug says Henderson is amazing, but the Rams will split work and won't let him be the man. But you know what D. Hendy's going to have a chance to do? Finally get showcased a little bit, and hopefully the talent will shine and win out. If Darrell Henderson's breaking off, 200-yard games back-to-back with 2 or 3 touchdowns, they're going to start giving him the ball a little more. So hopefully that could remedy itself. If it doesn't, and there's a great chance that it doesn't, there's a great chance they give Malcolm Brown and Hendy and a little bit of Cam Akers all work the same kind of, carry divide through week 4, week 5, like it could go on through the whole season. There's a strong chance for that, and that's why I'm not crazy optimistic about Darrell Henderson. But I'm not excited about Cam Akers. And everybody that comes at me, especially on IG, it was like the live was full of people saying, Smitty, you've lost it. I can't believe you're crazy. You don't like Cam Akers. He's so good, blah, blah, blah. They're not watching the film, because if you watch the film, Darrell Henderson had better film. That's not opinion. There's technical issues with Cam Akers' game, littered throughout all of his film, whereas Darrell Henderson is a downhill explosive runner that had records through the roof. This guy had nothing but records. I think he had 12 50-yard runs, which blew everybody out of the water. He had more 20 and 40-yard runs than anybody in the nation. He had 8.9 yards per carry, more than anybody. I think he had 8.9 or 8.5 the year prior. So it wasn't a one-year thing. And he averaged more yards per carry than any running back in the history of college football. 9, whatever it was. 7.6, 7.9 yards per attempt, more than anybody in college football history. You can't argue Cam Akers has better film. You just can't. And when you watch Cam Akers, technically speaking, a lot of mistakes, a lot of foot crossing, a lot of missing rushing lanes, not being patient through a lot of his film. And what got him in a position to do well was that he's aggressive. And he does hit people hard. And he breaks through and then has a big, long run. But the problem with that is that if you watch a lot of his collisions that he has with two defenders at a time, he's lowering his head and just ramming into him like a ram. Very fitting, like a ram. That's not sustainable. You're going to get hurt at the NFL level if what you do is, and it's not one or two plays, or I'm calling out something stupid or something that's trivial. No, we're talking about the fact that he lowered his head on just collision after collision on his film. Watch it. Lowers his head and literally, in a very, very dangerous fashion, runs his head right into two defenders at a time. He does it over and over and over and over. If he doesn't change that, he will get hurt at the next level. You can't do that with superior talent, superior linebacker strength, and players that are at a high level, the highest of the high. College is very different. You can't invite impacts like that with two defenders with your head down over and over and over again. So I know a lot of people are going to come at me. A lot of Cam Akers truthers, typically the people who already own him, or the Rams fans, or they're going to own him, or they're in a slot to draft him and they're not going to get anybody else. Those are typically the people that are getting mad at me. But I'm getting hate after hate on my Cam Akers doubt. Watch the film, Smitty, you're crazy. Watch it. I've watched it. You don't think I watch film? Who thinks I just come out and start talking about a player? I put a lot of work and research into these players. I watch a lot of film. Cam Akers has trouble finding the hole. Cam Akers is not patient with his blocks. Cam Akers doesn't let the plays develop. And it's not one or two times or just finding one thing that matches what I'm talking about. It's over and over. It's technical stuff. Now, I'm not saying he can't get better. I'm not saying Cam Akers can't learn. I'm not saying any of that. But what I'm saying is you give me that, all of that negative stuff, and the risk of injury with the way he collides with people. It's a big risk. And then you give me the fact that he's in the Rams situation where they just failed to use their running backs properly over and over and over since the Super Bowl. They failed to use, supposedly, at the time still, the best running back in the league. Oh, we forgot to use him in the Super Bowl. This is who you're trusting with a player that's going to need a lot of care in a shortened offseason where players aren't going to get the care and support and direction they need, or absorbing of the playbook or the offense and pass blocking, learning, and all of that. You're going to have that type of offseason with that type of player, with that type of situation and track record, that kind of track record of not using the running backs properly or believing in the players you just drafted. So you tell me where I'm off base here. If I'm not on Team Cam Akers, tell me where I'm wrong to not see caution at least and make him running back 5 with caution and hope that he can, all those things can get resolved. Tell me where I'm wrong. Tell me where I'm wrong, that the guy doesn't know how to hit the A gap or B gap properly, or he doesn't press the hole. Tell me I'm wrong. Watch the film and tell me I'm wrong. Darrell Henderson knew how to do those things better. And again, I'm not expecting Darrell Henderson to 100% succeed, but I'm more optimistic he will. At his average draft position, his ADP, I'm more willing to take the chance because it's, at this point, dude, people don't want anything to do with Darrell Henderson. So where's the risk at all? It's all upside, but it's risky upside because you don't know what the hell is going to happen. But what I find even more funny is how people, and I feel bad for them, because they come to me and they say, Smitty, Clyde Edwards-Helaire isn't going to be any good. They clearly either A, don't watch football, or B, just haven't had the pleasure of watching anything Clyde Edwards-Helaire yet. Because if you watch Clyde Edwards-Helaire on film, you're mesmerized. It's mesmerizing. It's wonderful. The micro movements. It's unbelievable watching a guy make a player slip off his shoulder, unable to tackle him with a small, tiny little move. The tiniest little move in the world. It's like this. These are not big moves. A tiny change of direction. This guy's going right. Now he's going left, and you don't even notice because he's so small and compact, but plays big. Exactly, Doug. I was going to just say that. It's like boxing head fakes. I don't know if you guys, I've done this before. I've done this how to dodge a punch. Muhammad Ali was the best ever at dodging a punch. Mike Tyson was pretty damn good himself. When you go to punch somebody, you aim naturally, innately, to punch about an inch or two into their face. You don't want to try and punch them barely. You're not going to do anything. Your goal is to punch 1 or 2 inches into their face, not more. You're not trying to punch past their face, or you're not going to be able to brace that impact properly, and you're just going to like hit them way too early. You brace to punch them 1 or 2 inches in the face. If you're trying to dodge a punch and you put your head back, all you've got to do to avoid a punch is move your head back, move your head 2 inches to the side, 2 inches back. Because if you're trying to punch someone in the face like this and you move your head 2 inches back, they miss. Or if they're punching you straight on, you move 2 inches over, they slide right by you. It's the same thing in a way when you're running the football and you make a micro movement. You're going this way, the defender's lined up to hit you. He just slightly moves and changes directions the other way. The defender still might graze him, might brush up against him, but he can't arm tackle the guy because he's got a mean stiff arm. He's got that low center of gravity, the balance that nobody in the league right now, nobody has. He's got balance and speed and quickness nobody has. You can't find a comp for him in the NFL right now. Now, you could say that's a red flag. He's not the prototypical running back. That would be one of your arguments. That could be your negative if you wanted to play that game and get in that boat, which I won't want to be on the wrong side of this thing. Fresh Prince of Hilaire. I like it. I like it, Jason. You don't want to be on the wrong side of this Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I'd rather be wrong and be in the boat on this one, because you get this one wrong, you're going to be worried, upset, mad at yourself for years. Maurice Jones-Drew is the only player you can comp this guy to. You could comp his situation, JP, to Priest Holmes because Priest Holmes had this situation, and the talent combined turned him into the best running back in fantasy football history. Priest Holmes is the best running back in fantasy football history. Don't argue that with me, anybody. Get me going. You'll get me going. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a perfect combination of that amazing situation with amazing talent coming together and making a super running back situation. Like one of those mega amazing situations. And similar to MJD, you have this running style that hasn't been replicated since MJD. There's just nobody in the league that does it. Like, you could try and say Barkley has that kind of micro movement ability and make defenders slip off. But literally, it's been since MJD that we've seen a guy with low center of gravity, bowling ball built material, unable to be tackled, just impossible. This guy changes directions. He's kind of short, which helps him almost hide behind the line, but he's built, he's beefy. He can be a between the tackles running. He is not a chimera where you don't want him getting a bulk of the work up the middle. You want him doing both. You want to try and keep him fresh and keep him healthy by dividing up his workload as best you can. Get him a lot of receptions, get him a lot of one-player tackle situations where he's not going up the middle, getting crushed and smashed down to the ground by 3 or 4 300-pound linemen. That will take its toll. Of course, you don't want just up the middle, up the gut, tough carries with tough tackling, tough abuse on the body. You don't want that. But I'm not telling you at all that this is a running back that needs to have, you know, a 900 type year. This is a guy that can run for 1,200, 1,300, 1,400 yards in the NFL. I don't care if he's smaller built. Bowling ball. He's a bowling ball. LT was a totally different type. Yes, LT was not even a close comparison, but, you know, if you want to compare like you think he'll be great or something, I understand that. But Tony's just saying better than LaDainian Tomlinson. That's his question. You can't even compare the body types and the running styles. They're just kind of not even the same wavelength. But I don't know how good he's going to be. I don't want to get too crazy. I don't want to damage my reputation right now. So I probably should just confine myself in a room, let this all shake out before I start making bold predictions I can't take back. So Tony, I'm going to say right here, right now, top 5 to 10 running back, and I'm going to leave it at that for now. I might reevaluate. I might get more excited, Tony. I might drop something crazier. But I think right now I'm getting a lot of pushback by that. I'm getting a lot of pushback by people saying top 5 to 10 as a rookie. He could be. He could definitely be top 5 to 10 as a rookie. He's in my top 5 to 10 in Dynasty. Wipe your feet, says Doug. Thank you, Doug. Top 5 to 10 Dynasty, no question about it. Top 5 to 10 redraft, I draft them as late as I can get them, but I'm waiting, baby. I'm waiting for top 10 numbers, no question about it. Tony says Tony, by the way, nice to see you here, man. I'm completely with you on Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Stand tall, brother. Thank you. Tony, I'm excited. I am so excited about Clyde. I haven't been this excited since Priest Holmes. I haven't. And I'm going to admit, you know, I had JK as my top ranked runner earlier. I loved Clyde, but I'll be honest, man. I should have been more excited about Clyde's film and projecting teams would invest in him. I think a lot of my caution was that I didn't see him for sure landing in the best spot, you know, high odds of it. I thought there's a good chance he falls somewhere, has to climb up. People are going to not take his size seriously. But when Kansas City bought in, all the excitement that I've been, you know, burying, I guess you could say, in just, you know, expectations of whether a team would buy into this guy as a top running back, I just got excited. I lost it. And not to mention, every time you can't watch footage of Clyde Edwards-Helaire and not get more into him every time you watch him. The more you watch, the more it builds. The more you start going, why am I not talking about more from this guy? Why am I not predicting more from this guy? Every time you watch a clip, you're like, damn, I'm more excited than I was 5 minutes ago. I think Arizona did great in their draft, Doug. I love it. I love our draft. I think we did good. But yeah, I love when people come into my live on Instagram and say Smitty, Clyde's not going to be good. They're not watching film. They don't know what they're talking about. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is fire, absolute fire. Jonathan Taylor is next. We've brushed on it up a little bit. Marlon Mack, Nyheim Hines. They're not going anywhere, but will they get scaled back? Will Taylor get introduced to more and more work? Yeah. But with a fumbling history, with that team just struggling to build rapport from the start, you got to think they're going to go with some veteran leadership to kind of keep at least something in place for Rivers to have good success early. And Taylor is going to be sprinkled in and give him more and more and more work. I just wonder if we're looking like a 20 catch season out of Jonathan Taylor, or 25. You know, are they going to use Hines and Mack that much on third down and do what Oakland did with Jonathan Josh Jacobs. Tony with the super. Thank you, Tony. I'll read your question right this second. Hold on. Do they do what they did in Oakland with Josh Jacobs, Tony? They gave Josh Jacobs little to limited PPR work to ease him into an offense that they felt was complicated for a rookie. Will we see Jonathan Taylor be limited in the passing game in year one, get more heavy dose of PPR action in year two? I think that could be the case. That's why I think Clyde Edwards-Helaire is here. Jonathan Taylor is here. J.K. Dobbins and the others are kind of right there with him. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is in a tier by himself. I love J.K. for the future. J.K. kind of closes that gap, I think, because I think Mark Ingram doesn't have 10 years. He has maybe 1.5, maybe a half to 1. J.K. is very talented. But I'm not a big fan of Swift. I kind of didn't like him as much as everybody else to begin with, and he lands in Detroit, where they failed to use the running back properly. Why would I get excited about that? Tony, what are your thoughts on Jalen Reagor to the Eagles? I'm seriously disappointed. I thought Jefferson, Mims, Pittman, Claypool would have been better for them. I like Reagor a lot, Tony, for a few reasons, but I'm like you, I don't know that I love him altogether better than those guys from a fantasy perspective. So from a football point of view, it was a good move. It adds kind of speed. I don't know if he's going to be the return guy or what, but I think Reagor's got a shot, but he could end up being like a, max out at like a Marvin Jones type level. I don't know that Reagor's going to ever reach the heights that other receivers in this class could reach, but I could be wrong. I'm going to leave myself a little wiggle room out of that because, to be honest with you, these guys can develop a lot at the next level, and it's only being truthful and honest with you to say that I don't know everything. And I didn't see Chark developing into the player that Chark developed into. I didn't see McLaurin coming and turning into the player that McLaurin turned into until a little bit into the season. So a lot of times these wide receivers can have better skill sets than we think, or at least have the makings and the seed that can blossom them into an elite wide receiver. So Reagor could have it. I just don't know that I'm going to stand still, watch from afar, not take too many chances on drafting him in hopes that he develops. But I agree with you. Disappointment kind of set in when Mims didn't go there. But then Mims landed in New York, and I do like that because I think that Darnold could maybe not be there, a year and a half from now. Maybe he doesn't even finish the season. I don't know. Maybe Darnold develops into a good quarterback. QB situations change and evolve very quickly. I loved Aaron Jones. He's my number one ranked wide receiver coming out of the January, February timeframe, heading into the NFL draft last year, and the landing spot influenced me to drop him. And I did say with a caveat on my drop, on my rankings on sleeperu.com, that any change could be, in my ranking, dropping A.J. Brown down, he could be revived on my rankings with one move at quarterback, which we cannot count out something happening. So, Mims could definitely see a QB change that we don't see coming, or that doesn't look like it's there. It's hiding. They drafted that one guy, what's his name? Morgan or whatever. So who knows, man? I thought the Eagles needed a true wide receiver one. Reagor is pretty small. He is. That's what I'm saying. I don't know. I don't know what to think either. I think he's a good football move for him, but I don't know if he's going to turn into a fantasy elite stud. But good points, good questions, man. Zach Moss, very injury prone. I don't know that I'd call him injury prone, but I'll take a look at some stuff. I think that he's had some injuries, but I don't know that I'd call him injury prone yet. What about Zach Moss and Singletary in Buffalo, the Buffalo backfield? Sean says, thanks, Smitty. I have the 1.01 in Dynasty. I feel excited taking Clyde Edwards-Helaire. I hate almost every rookie landing spot, says Kyle. Who would you draft at 1.04, 1.06 in rookie drafts? I don't know who's there, but check sleeperu.com. I have my rookie rankings up right now, so you can take those into your draft. Smitty, do you feel like the Cowboys are the team to beat in the NFC? I think the Cowboys did an A-plus job drafting. I think they put their balls on the line. I'll talk about Moss and Buffalo in a second. I may have missed it, but Smitty, your top 5 rookie wide receivers, I'll go over that. Okay, so Zach Moss and Buffalo. And then what was the other question I was just talking about? 1.04, 1.06. Zach Moss in Buffalo. Good landing spot in a way for Moss. I don't think it damages Singletary's value all that much. Singletary's not a 1,200-yard rusher. Singletary is a Alvin Kamara-like player where you want him getting 800, 900 rushing yards. That leaves a lot of rushing yards that still need to be rushed. So they need a guy like Moss. Moss isn't a J.K. Dobbins threatening to take all the work. Moss is a good running back. If Singletary went down, Moss would be he could potential to be a low-end running back too in that Bills offense if he's the lone guy. So know that. Stash material for sure. But I don't think a healthy Singletary is threatened all that much. It probably keeps Singletary healthy. Keeps Singletary cranking out better yards per carry, more efficient, more readily available to help in the passing game. So I think it's a good football move for the Bills. Doesn't hurt Singletary as much as people might initially think. So I don't drop Singletary. Thoughts on Darrell Henderson? I talked about that already, Z-Man. Just a brief recap for you. I don't trust the Rams. Therefore, I don't know what to expect from Henderson. I'm not going to put any eggs in any basket in regards to Henderson, but I will tell you this. I still think Henderson's better than Akers. You want to watch this video because I went on a rant already about how Akers has a lot of weaknesses that I feel like people aren't talking about or willing to accept. And when people just run their mouth about how Akers is this and that and how I'm crazy because I don't like Akers, he's so good. Like, watch the film. Because I did. I broke some of why down. And Darrell Henderson has amazing film. You can't find any weaknesses in Darrell Henderson's film, really. Some people would say footwork, that he'd sometimes get tripped up, or that once his feet are stutter stepping, he takes a little while to get back into full speed. Like, things like that were the weaknesses you could find in Darrell Henderson's film. And I don't care about having a weaker schedule. Randy Moss had a weaker schedule. Randy Moss came from a small school. You can only use that excuse so long when a guy like Darrell Henderson has 8.9 yards per carry in 2018 in college, has 12 50-plus yard runs, more 20 and 40-plus yard runs than anyone in the nation, and the most yards per carry in college football history. You can only give me he had an easier schedule excuse for one or two of those. You can't give that to me for everything. So I don't really care how many people tell me I'm wrong on Darrell Henderson. I don't give a crap. I am who I am. I'm not changing for anybody. And I'm not somebody that sticks to their guns because they're worried about not being wrong on a certain thing. You guys know me. I do an oopsie show when I think I've messed up. And I admit my wrong. I admit when I know I'm wrong or I think I'm wrong. This is not the case. I don't believe in the Rams. Therefore, I'm not confident in Darrell Henderson producing in 2020. But I'm certainly feeling like Akers is in the same situation Henderson was in. And I don't care if Todd Gurley was on the roster. People say it's not the same situation. Todd Gurley was on the roster. They have 3 running backs. Akers, one of them. Last year, they had 3 running backs. Henderson was one of them. And the 2 running backs already on roster commanded more work because the Rams didn't trust the rookie. And this rookie walks in without a ton or he's going to walk in without a ton of rapport and learning that a lot of rookies get afforded when they come in because of this coronavirus situation. So that's my stance there. Devin, Smitty is legit. He helped me win 2 leagues this year. Thank you, bro. I think Gallup is still the best there if Amari continues to play 50%. And I assume rookies get eased in, says Doug. Only person I trust with the Rams is Kupp. True. I can't bench a KC player ever, says MT. Justin Jefferson thoughts. I like him. I like Jefferson a lot. I think he could be a really good player. I think all these rookies are just going to need time. I'm just not excited about the rookies. Keyshawn Vaughn, a sneaky running back or a pick this year. I think he could be, yeah. But a lot of people are excited about him, so we'll see where he falls in drafts, man. Woods is just as good as Kupp, I agree. I mean, people can disagree all they want. I mean, they're both really good. So I think it's dumb when people argue, that's not true, Kupp's better. No, they're both good. They're both good. Top 5 rookie wide receivers coming out of the draft. Number 1, CeeDee Lamb. Situation is just better, in my opinion. Judy, number 2, but I think both could be top 10 wide receivers for the future. I just think that in these landing spots could take more time than we want, unfortunately. Number 3, Denzel Mims. My top 3, other than Lamb and Judy swapping for right now, and that's because I don't love Locke yet. I'm leaving wiggle room for Locke to prove me wrong. I'm not calling him a bust. I'm just kind of indifferent right now. I think the options are there for him to do well. They have to be. But you know who is benefited most by Jerry Jeudy landing in Denver? Melvin Gordon. Melvin Gordon, 23 TDs in his last 24 games. Melvin Gordon, the only running back in the NFL to have 4 straight, his last 4 seasons, with 40 receptions or more. Melvin Gordon, the only running back in the league right now to have 4 straight seasons in the past, his most recent 4, with 8 or more TDs. Melvin Gordon walks into a situation that's going to be run heavy. Melvin Gordon, everybody talking about stacked boxes, now has Jerry Jeudy, Noah Fant, Cortland Sutton catching football, spreading out the defense. Melvin Gordon is in the better place landing spot-wise over Todd Gurley in Atlanta. Everybody acting like the Atlanta spot was supposed to be the spot that Melvin Gordon should have went in the better spot. No. Denver was the spot to land in, and Melvin Gordon has top 10 potential. Melvin Gordon is looking like a steal. Melvin Gordon looks like a steal in the 3rd round. This is a good landing spot for Melvin Gordon. And I'm excited for what Jerry Jeudy does for Melvin Gordon. I'm excited for all the leagues where I have Melvin Gordon already. Melvin Micro Movement Master Gordon. That's pretty funny. No, the only micro movement master is Clyde Edwards-Helaire, bro. That's the micro movement king. Cooper Kupp is always hurt. I agree. I worry about him, but I think he's proven enough right now that he's a good player to buy into for 2020 at the right price. But if he's commanding 3rd round value, which at times I see him go in the 3rd round, no way I'm touching Cooper Kupp at that range, given the injury risk I think he holds. I hate that no rookie went to an optimal situation. Now, Mims kind of did, because if you think about it, Mims is looking at a ton of targets. He's looking at playing for a team that's going to be behind in the 3rd and 4th quarter. What do teams from behind do in the 3rd and 4th quarter? They air it out to their wide receivers. And who has the best catch radius in the entire NFL draft class in 2020? Denzel Mims. Who has a quarterback that might be throwing errant passes to him? Mims has an errant throwing quarterback. So targets will be there. I think Mims does produce potentially the best rookie numbers out of all the wide receivers. So I think Denzel Mims has an optimal landing spot for redraft. Now, would I rather have Denzel Mims land in a different place long-term? Maybe, because I don't know what's going to happen at quarterback for the Jets, but I hope it's not Darnold. I hope they develop somebody. I hope they trade for somebody. I hope something happens that we don't see right now. Hope it's hidden treasure of a quarterback, I hope, in New York. I hope there's a Kurt Warner bag in groceries in the local supermarket that's about to try out for the Jets, take over, and take Denzel Mims to the promised land fantasy-wise. That's what I hope. Fournette to the Steelers. Dude, anything's possible. I did my 10,000 Drake video on Easter only because it was Easter and I wanted to be positive and thankful and grateful. But I was going to do a no Fournette or no Mixon or both. No Mixon, no Fournette, no Mixon, no Fournette, no Mixon, no Fournette 10,000 times. That was my plan. But I changed it up because it was Easter and I wanted to be positive. But you still may see me do a no Fournette video. There's a reason the Jaguars want out of the Fournette business. There's a reason why the Jaguars have wanted out of the Fournette business for a long time coming. They wrote him off last offseason for a reason. Fournette should not be trusted. Fournette is injury prone. Fournette has bounced around at different weight. Fournette is a guy I don't go near. Not at second round value, which is what Fournette commands. I'm not going near Mixon either, which is he's commanding almost first round value. Cam to the Jets. That would be fantastic. Tell me that happened tonight and I don't know about it. Cam to the Jets would be great for Mims. I like that. Stupid virus, go away. Absolutely, man. I'm really worried about it. There's a decent chance, man, with this thing not letting up yet, that we're looking at a season pushed back a whole month and maybe a very, very strong risk that's developing that we don't have a 2020 fantasy football season. Getting pretty upset about it. But what I am doing is buying an Xbox. And what I am doing is playing other analysts, Dr. Raj specifically, in Madden, and we're going to live stream that bad boy on IG, baby. I think Fournette is reliable in fantasy, though if you look at his numbers year after year, he's done well. I mean, Doug, I get where you're coming from, and I respect you and respect your take and respect anybody that wants to believe in Fournette. The talent's there. I'm not going to argue the talent is not there, but the red flags are glaring. There's a ton of red flags. There's injury history, bad decision-making on and off the field, locker room problem. Team wants to get rid of him. He had a 70-catch season, and the team still wants to get rid of him. What does that tell you, though? When your own team wants to get rid of you and you just caught 70 balls and you were not a PPR guy at all. You overperformed. You got exceeds on your evaluation, your employment year-end review. You got an exceeds, a 5 out of 5, which is giving you the maximum raise. And yet your team, your employer wants to get rid of you again. Not the first time they've wanted to get rid of you. There's clearly issues there. And the fact that he does have some injury risk, the fact that he has never been a PPR guy, the fact that even if he stays in Jacksonville with a new change scheme, they're not going to throw the ball the same to him. Lots of red flags. 3 rushing touchdowns. You could say that's a positive in a way because you know they're going to by default run for more touchdowns in 2020. But do you know that for certain? There's a reason they only had 3 touchdowns on the ground last year in Jacksonville. They don't run well on the ground in those situations. So a lot of red flags to me. I'm staying clear at second round value. If it's late third round, fourth round, I'm more open-minded to it, bro. But at second round value, I'm not putting my fantasy season on the line for a guy that you can't trust, for a guy that the team doesn't trust. Does Chenault have value in Jacksonville? I mean, a little bit, yeah. Sleeper value, but I don't know that I'm super high in Chenault. So top 5 wide receivers, I said number 1 is CeeDee Lamb. I go back and forth. Don't lock me into that because Judy and Lamb are so close. Tomorrow I might tell you Judy. Know that. I'm being honest with you. And I'm digesting this still. Like, I'm a human being. I breathe air just like you guys. I go to Target just like you guys. I make mistakes. I evaluate things quickly. And I may like Jerry Jeudy more tomorrow. They're really close in the talent-wise. I like Jeudy more. I like Jeudy more talent-wise. I just feel like CeeDee Lamb could walk. He walked into a better 2020 situation. It's kind of masked and masqueraded around a guy that everybody loves that I don't, in Amari Cooper, a vanishing act in that wide receiver. Let me put it this way. I like Sutton a lot. I don't think Sutton's better than Jeudy, but I like Sutton too much to feel like he's going to just give up a boatload of the work. And it's going to be hard for Locke to get Jeudy or two players into a level that makes Jeudy more valuable than Lamb. So situation, I think, is kind of hard to predict right here. But I think a year and a half from now, we're going to be laughing at the idea that Amari Cooper was going to hold CeeDee Lamb back into turning into an elite wide receiver. I think we will laugh at that 1.5 years from now. Is Amari Cooper good? Yes. If Amari Cooper was all by himself, would he be a wide receiver 1 in fantasy, even if it's number 8, number 9? Yes. Is Amari Cooper good enough on all levels, all facets of the game, to hold a guy like CeeDee Lamb back from being the team's number 1 wide receiver? Absolutely not. Dill, I go back and forth, Dill. I think Jeudy could be better. Judy's better than CeeDee Lamb. That's the problem. That's the dilemma I have, is I don't love... It's not that I don't love his situation. It's pretty good. Like in general, like generally speaking, that offense is really good. But there's a lot of mouths to feed in a quarterback and an offense that I don't think will throw the ball enough. They're a run-heavy team. People keep forgetting. They go, Smitty, you're sleeping on Locke. He's got a lot of weapons. He's going to do pretty good. You're missing my point. My point isn't that Locke can't do well or that the offense won't be good. It's that they run the ball a ton. The Broncos run the ball a ton. And while the Cowboys run a ton too, they also pass a ton. And I'm telling you right now, Cooper's not standing in the way of CeeDee Lamb becoming the number 1 wide receiver in Dallas or a top 10 wide receiver. Cooper's not standing in the way. CeeDee Lamb's only competing with himself because his skill set's better than Amari Cooper. Amari Cooper by himself would still, in Dallas, would be a number 7, number 8 wide receiver in fantasy. Sure, the volume would be there. He's good enough to do well. But CeeDee Lamb is better. CeeDee Lamb will absorb those targets more. I have faith in CeeDee Lamb. So that's my number 1 for now. Jeudy, more talented, could vault him as I start seeing how, as I start predicting and kind of playing it out and kind of digesting it all. Maybe I'm going to be like, you know what? Judy's talent's going to win out. I don't know. I got to watch more film again. I do that after I'm done. I watch a lot more footage on these guys, even though I've seen everything I can see on Jeudy, Mims, and everybody. But Jerry Jeudy could get over 100 receptions as a rookie? No, dude. No way. I mean, anything's possible. But not in Denver as a rookie, learning the offense. He's not going to... 100 targets. I'm sorry. Okay. I mean, sure, I guess. Not 100 receptions. So I was like, bro, you get a little excited. Kyle with the super. Thank you, Kyle. Thank you, Tony and Kyle. Kyle says thoughts on Gandy Golden and Devin. I like both. I think Gandy Golden especially I think he's so good. Not too sure how I feel about landing spots, but I think both those guys have talent, but Gandy Golden way more. I love Gandy Golden. Gandy Golden to me is that one wide receiver in this draft class that feels like everyone could be like, oh my God, this is that DJ Chark we didn't know about. That's Gandy Golden, baby. I love Gandy Golden. Yeah, good landing spot. Justin Jefferson better be in your top 5. He is, bro. Come on. I'm no asshole. So we got Mims at 3. I'm torn between Ruggs and who I feel, I don't want to say I was wrong about because I still liked him, but I feel like maybe I was a little hard on him. And coming out of the draft, rewatching everything, watching a lot of his, as dumb as it sounds, I know this sounds really dumb. Your analyst is using basketball footage to reevaluate how he feels Ruggs is going to develop in the NFL. But watching all the other film and all the other things on this guy, elite talent, so physically gifted. Ruggs, when I said he's either John Ross or Tyreek Hill, that's unfair. Because Ruggs has an athletic level that John Ross never had. I mean, this guy can tomahawk dunk and jump higher than most, and his vertical is crazy. And I know that's dumb to use NFL footage or basketball footage to help scout you for the NFL. Well, not really, because a lot of tight end basketball footage is what people look at when they're trying to figure out who would be a good tight end. But I think I should have given him more credit, and I'm kind of liking him more and more. I think Ruggs is so talented, but I'm not in love with Oakland from a passing standpoint, other than Waller being the safety net dump off guy that constantly does well. I love Waller. I think Waller is super underrated. Top four overall tight end. But Jefferson, I felt like coming in, I liked it way more. So I'm kind of feeling like, or Oakland. I keep saying Oakland, Las Vegas, whatever. It's going to take me a while to get that one, guys. Oakland. It's crazy saying Las Vegas, man. It's weird. So I'm going to say Jefferson and Ruggs kind of tied. That would be how I'd try and rank these guys at this point. I love Ayuk. I think Ayuk is a better football move than he is fantasy right now. Brandon Ayuk in a different spot would have been my top 5. But it's hard for me to like Ayuk better than those 5 when he's on a run-heavy team with Deebo Samuel and Kittle pulling in the limited passing that's going to be dishing around. So I do like Ruggs more. You guys know me. I admit when I'm wrong. I admit when I feel I'm wrong. And a lot of people think that's not the case because of Darrell Henderson or N'Keal Harry. I love that one. Hey, Smitty, yeah, is this your N'Keal Harry prediction? Where did I say ever that N'Keal Harry as a rookie would reach the levels I predicted? I didn't. I said within 1 to 3 years, N'Keal Harry could be a top 10 wide receiver, and I even had bolder prediction than that, actually. Give the guy time. Who closes the door on a rookie that got hurt after 1 year? Who? I'll tell you who. The people that called me out for N'Keal Harry. That's who. It's a joke, though. Like, give a guy time. N'Keal Harry came on strong at the end. And guess who has a good rapport with N'Keal Harry and did well in the preseason with them? Stidham, who could be better than we think. Bill Belichick might know what he's doing, I might remind you. What happens if you're stuck between Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Drake at 1.04? Why is Drake at 1.04 in your rookie draft? And if it's a startup, you don't take Clyde Edwards-Helaire at 1.04. Maybe this is a keeper draft. It has rookies and vets in there. If that's the case, I go Drake and I find a way to go get both, bro. Don't make me answer that question. Super chat from Kennedy. New sub, love the channel. You know your stuff. Thank you, Kennedy. Kennedy, I appreciate you being here. Welcome to the family. Welcome to the family, Kennedy. Thank you for the super chat, by the way. Always appreciated, never expected. You help keep the lights on. You're helping the channel grow. We're at 4,000 subs now. I think we're gonna, not that the subs matter to me, because I like to produce content that means a lot to me. And I always have to try and put myself in a place almost every week, to be honest with you guys. This stuff gets to you. And I don't know anybody that's ever been honest or truthful with you about the YouTube process, but I started doing these videos about 15 months ago. I've only been doing YouTube for 14, 15 months. I put like a promo video up on you, you know what I mean? But as far as the channel producing daily content, essentially, 14, 15 months. And the first 4 or 5 months were brutal because no one knows you're there. It's not that your content isn't good, but no one knows you're there. They don't watch you, and people typically give up. And you have to have something good or it won't grow. Wanton was there. I had mom, dad, and Wanton watching me for a while. And at some point you feel like giving up and you got to push through it. And the one thing I have to continue to remind myself, and you have to balance it because you do need the subs. You need the subs to grow. You need the subs to make money. You need the subs to get the sponsorship. So it's like important, but the subs will kind of come if you just keep focused on producing content you love. And because if I don't love it, if I'm not passionate about the content creation, like tonight, I like tonight's show better than being in my studio. I like tonight's show way better than being in my studio. I like my pre-recorded stuff in my studio where I make a video and I cut it up and I do post-production and it's smooth and transitions are there, the graphics are like, I love all that. But when I'm doing a live, I like being out and about because I feel like I can get more natural. I can talk about things that I want to talk about. I can be loud. I don't have to wake up anybody at the home studio. So the crazy part is, though, I have to constantly remind myself, stop worrying about the views. Stop worrying about creating a video that says wide receiver rankings, blah, 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 because you want to get SEO traffic. But the SEO is important, so you balance that. But I find myself constantly doing better, getting better reactions from you guys, more engagement when I just am following what I want to do and be passionate about, like giving you guys what I think I would want to watch. And so I think that's what I try and gravitate back toward that all the time. Keep grinding, man. Thank you, MT, with the super chat. MT, keep grinding, man. We see you. It's going to pop soon. I think, so my point on that was, I think we're going to get from 4,000 based on last year's growth. We went from like 400 to 4,000 or 3,500 back when the season was starting. I think we could easily have that times 5 or 8 growth. So even if we say 4 times growth, so we could potentially go to 15 to like 18,000, but we could call it, be safe at 10. So 10,000, even if we just a little bit more than doubled by August, 10,000 subscribers is a lot of YouTube subscribers. That's a family, bro. Like, we're getting there. Smitty, I'm calling you out. You had a Monty, Hendy, and Harry as your top 3 rookies, and you said Harry would be a top 5 wide receiver. I did not say Harry would be a top 5 wide receiver in 2020. Brent, I said in one, ask anybody in the chat. Like, no, you're putting words in my mouth. I said that within 1 to 3 years, he would be a top 5 to 10 wide receiver. And even if you want to use 5, I said 1 to 3 years. Don't twist it up and say that I said he'd be there as a rookie. No rookie's going to be a top 5 wide receiver in his rookie year. If you said eventually, like Kyle said, don't twist up my words, bro. Come on. I promise your content is 100% better than a lot of fantasy channels, bro. Thank you, Kennedy. Success is all about process, not the results. Thank you. Harry got hurt. Yes. Smitty, you're my favorite YouTube channel. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, Dill. Dill, you're becoming a solid contributor, man. Keep it up. Your trade videos brought me here. Thank you, Ricky. We love you. Thank you, Kyle. Where are we at? Okay. Ricky calling you out. Unreal, Brent. Come on, Brent. No accountability. Brent, if you knew me at all, you know that I call out when I'm wrong. I do a show on it. Like, what are you talking about, Brent? Come on, Brent. Okay, now, Brent, now you're saying I said second year. Like, pick what you're talking about. I said by the... I'll tell you, Brent, I know my own content. I said by the end of his rookie year, we start seeing flashes. And by his second or third year, potentially the end of his second year, he would be turning into that top 5 to 10 wide receiver on the way out of year 2. So please don't twist my words up when you said I said 2020. And Doug's right. I do love accountability. I do a show called Oopsie and Nailed It, where I break down the picks that I miss and I break down the picks that I hit. Just admit you bombed last year, Brent says, and said that you're crazy, dude. Brent, I don't know what the hate is about, but go ahead, whatever you got to do, man. I'm here to provide you content. If you don't like it, like, you know where to go to another channel. Like, I'm not holding you here. I'm trying to do my best and bring you content you can enjoy, consume, and better your fantasy football game. And if you don't feel like I can better your game, then why be here? I'm not hating, bro. Just admit it. Admit what, bro? Admit what? That I said that in 1 to 3 years, N'Keal Harry would be a top 5 to 10 wide receiver? Not admitting anything. We're not there yet. Anyone looking for league members, you know what? Go to my Discord, Deegan. Go to Sleeper U. Somebody put this in the chat so they can click on it. sleeperu.com/Discord. And go there and you can talk with people about joining a league. It's the best community. It's free. It's my chat. I often frequent it. You can get direct access there. If there's one creator of content I cannot stand, it's the counselor, says Jason. Brent, one of those creepers in the parking lot watching behind you. Yeah, he might be. Brent, you are hating. That's the problem, though. You're saying you're not hating, but you're hating. Like, and that's the other thing. Brent, do you know how many things I cranked out? Like, Brent, you're going and selecting 3 or 4 misses that I had, which is not fair when you consider, which I don't care of, thick skin. I like to argue with people that are saying things that aren't true. The N'Keal Harry thing, I have time. I did not say his rookie year. You're the one that came in here and said, I said 2020. Now you're backtracking and saying that I said by his second year. You're not even getting it straight. So you come in here and tell me that I said something I didn't. Then you want to call out 4 misses. Yeah, Brent, I didn't bomb anything. Brent, everybody bombs predictions. You know how much content I create? You know how much content I create? I create a ton of content. You're going to find misses all over. If you think that's the only thing I miss, Brent, you're going to find more. I hate to tell you. An analyst is going to get, at best, 75% of a lot of the bolder calls right all year. If you're expecting a perfection, you're not going to find it. Anyways, I've had enough with it, bro. I'm not admitting shit to you. Harry played like 5 games and was hurt. Laughing my ass off, says Ronaldo. I don't know what his problem is. We'll just ignore Brent for now. Brent says he's not hating, but Brent's hating for sure. No, you're not, Brent. Hey, Smitty, I'm a guy in a league. A guy in your league just offered you Ertz and for your Cam Akers. Oh, and a 3.08 rookie in Dynasty. Which side do you like better? I wonder if you could get more. Shoot, I wonder if you could get more for Akers, though. Not that I don't like that, but I don't know. Brent is 6-year-old. Ignore him. Okay. Mahomes and 1.01 for Dalvin Cook. Oh, hell yeah. Take Mahomes and 1.01 for Dalvin Cook in a heartbeat. First of all, Mahomes, you could argue, has Dalvin Cook upside, even though you don't have to pay that kind of price tag, which is why you're getting more. But Clyde Edwards-Helaire and Mahomes, bro, take that a run, bro. Oh, my God. That's one of the better things I've seen all day. That made me excited. I'm going to go eat some eggs now. Cook a nice meal. Who are the 3 backup running backs that will win you a league? Easy call. Kareem Hunt, Madison, Tony Pollard. Go get those bad boys. There are others. I mean, Lat Murray, Edmonds you need to have. But Tony Pollard was getting drafted in the 3rd round in redraft leagues last year when people thought Elliott was only going to sit out maybe 5 to 8 games. And people drafted Pollard in the 3rd round. That should remind you how explosive he'd be in that Cowboys offense. Tony Pollard is number 3. Madison is top 5 running back material if starting in Minnesota. He's a beast. Impossible. He's like a Marshawn Lynch. So possible to take down with one guy. Then you have Kareem Hunt, who in his own right is just right now a flex-like player, flex-worthy. Put him in at your flex immediately. And even if he never gets any more work, the dude, then he's going to get out the gate. The dude's going to be flex material all year. You're not going to like not get your value back. But Kareem Hunt, if starting for the Cleveland Browns in that Stefanski offense, means that Nick Chubb went down and got hurt. If Kareem Hunt's starting games in 2020, he's the lone back because Chubb got hurt, if that's the case. And with Stefanski proving what he can do with running backs, look at Dalvin Cook, because Stefanski did that, created Dalvin Cook in 2019. Everything you saw in 2019 with Dalvin Cook was Stefanski. And so Stefanski's now in Cleveland, and if Hunt's starting games, that means Chubb is down, and that means that Hunt's getting all the work in a Stefanski offense. So that means you're going to get Dalvin Cook type production out of Kareem Hunt in 2020 if he's starting games. So win a league material, no question about it. No question about it. I mean, again, Lat Murray, Edmonds, a lot of backups. J.K. Dobbins is kind of now in that mold of win a league type material. Talked about that with Rob on my live on Instagram today. But no question about it. Is Tony Pollard at number 3 win a league material, stash on your bench? Madison, and then Kareem Hunt, who wins your freaking league if he gets in there in that Stefanski offense. Yes, Albert. Is Armstead still a backup? I'm not feeling Armstead, man. How much value does McFarland have if Connor got hurt? I think he's pretty good value. I like him. You know, don't overpay, but I like him. I like him a lot. That's Booger, son. Hell yeah, McFarland. What is that? I thought maybe I had a booger on my face. Like, that's Booger, son. I haven't heard that in a while. Fournette gone. Fournette gone, says Kyle. San Francisco running backs, McKinnon problem. All right, guys, I think I'm out of here for the night. Did I miss any super chats? What was the last one? I'm going to make sure I got it. Let me scroll up. Did I miss a super chat? Anybody? Clyde Edwards-Helaire put up Kareem Hunt rookie numbers. Could Clyde Edwards-Helaire put up rookie? Yeah, definitely. Definitely. I mean, not a lock, but definitely possible. Yeah, possible. I love Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Let me finish on Clyde Edwards-Helaire. Let's talk about Clyde the Glide before I leave. Clyde the Glide Edwards-Helaire is so good. And I love when people tell me he's not, because it means I get to talk about him. Clyde Edwards-Helaire is a wrecking ball. He's a bowling ball. And yeah, we need to come up with a new nickname for Clyde the Glide. But this is Maurice Jones-Drew 2.0. And get ready, because it's coming. And I want shares of Clyde the Glide in leagues all over the place. Aaron Jones or Clyde the Glide? Clyde the Glide. Take Clyde Edwards-Helaire over Aaron Jones. I'm taking Clyde. You know what? You want a bold statement? Clyde Edwards-Helaire over Mixon and Fournette in redraft. Chew on that. Fresh Prince of Hilaire. I do like that one, Kyle. Maybe we do keep that. Redraft, top 10, very, very possible. Yes. I draft him in the second round. Or, I mean, the top of the third, maybe late second round in redraft. I definitely draft him in Dynasty. I don't even know where yet, man. I haven't drafted yet since he got drafted by the Chiefs, so I don't even know what I'm willing to do. I got to digest it a little bit. Clyde Edwards-Helaire has Maurice Jones-Drew 2.0 upside, which means he was a top 3 pick. I'm not saying I'm there yet, but Clyde Edwards-Helaire, the Fresh Prince of Hilaire, could climb into top 5 running back status. No question about it. He went 16 in your Dynasty League today, Kyle. Who said Fresh Prince of Hilaire? Was that you, Kyle? Clyde's really, really good. Wanton, he sure is, man. Draft capital weighs a lot. Teams like to be proven right. True, Ricky. You know, that's the difference between, that's why I can trust the Chiefs to do the right thing here and not do what they did with freaking you know, Dame Williams. Actually, it was on Footballers. Oh, okay. Fresh Prince of Hilaire. They get a lot of those from their followers though. Like they'll say best nickname go, and you know, on a tweet or something, and then everybody will throw it out there and then they'll collect it. I saw it on FanDuel Facebook post. Media skit. Dude, he's so smooth, man. There's nobody like Clyde Edwards-Helaire in the NFL currently. Nobody. And when he cuts, man, those micro movements, it's amazing. Like it's like boxing, like we talked about earlier. Just a little bit of a movement. He's running here, little bit of a movement there, changing direction, defender slips right past him. It's that kind of intelligent football that players like Cam Akers don't have. You know, like the micro movements to avoid collision unnecessarily, figure out a way to slip by somebody versus taking impact every single time you see two defenders coming at you. Clyde Edwards-Helaire says, wait a minute, stop, do a micro movement and go by you, slip past you. You can't tackle him. He slips off, finds a crease, finds a hole, presses the hole. This guy is amazing. I love watching CEH film. Who cares if he's not a track star? Dude, he kind of is. Like, that's the funny thing is a lot of people think he's not fast. It's like he's plenty fast. First of all, he's quicker than anybody's going to give him credit for right now. He's going to be known as one of the quickest guys in the NFL. Fast and quick are very different, but he's got enough speed to be a breakaway runner. Not only that, he can improve upon that. Speed can be improved upon. So give the guy a chance there. I know you're not hating on him. I'm just saying it's change in direction that you can't learn. Speed, you can get a little quicker. I mean, you're never going to get too much quicker at that level. You're already like, you know, elite athlete material, but he runs plenty of fast. Not to mention, it doesn't matter. His wiggle game is going to leave you in the dust. So he's going to be a player that leaves you in the dust. Eckler over Hilaire, no doubt, says Kennedy. Yeah, for now. You got to draft smart. As much as I'm hyped and ready to draft Hilaire high, you got to be smart about it. You got to draft him where you can. You know, I'm going to own Hilaire in like 2 or 3, 4 leagues out of my 15 or 20 that I do, because I don't want to draft him way too high. Right before the pick, asking him if he wanted, Pat responded with Clyde. Pat Mayo, or I mean Pat Mayo, Patrick Mahomes. You mean? I just went on the Pat Mayo show, by the way. Watch that. Yeah, if Pat Mahomes, if Patty Boy wanted Clyde, we know Clyde's going to get used early and often. I think we all just got to be prepared for a easing in for the rookies, but maybe the offseason will be kinder to us than we think. Okay, I'm out of here. I appreciate all of you. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. And let me give you another little pointer, a little tip. Do you know how you can get to my show even quicker than normal? Does anybody know the answer to this yet? Because I've talked about it on IG. If you want a shortcut to the fantasy football show, type in Smitty1.com. Smitty1.com. If you need to tell your friends, family members, grandma about the show, you tell them Smitty1.com. That will bring you to the show like that. So quick little shortcut link. Do what you want with it. And don't forget to join my Discord. Any of you not in my Discord, it's just a forum, a chat forum. It's free. Go to sleeperu.com/forums and join my Discord. And it's got like, we got over 100 people in, or 200, 300, something like that. 200, 300 people in there chatting constantly. You have a trade offer and you want to run it by somebody, you're in this Discord, you post it, you get a response. Like, that's what this forum's about. Fast responding, everybody together, community, building our YouTube community that you see in the comments in a place where we can all talk together. That's what my Discord is. So join it. sleeperu.com/Discord. Go to it, join it, get on it. It's awesome. Smitty, what site do you do mocks on? We do a lot of them on Sleeper. Pat Mayo admits to not watching college tape. Not much help in Dino. Yeah, but he has a lot of good guests on, like myself, that talk about it with him. So he's a facilitator of content. You can look at Pat Mayo as a good mind for some fantasy content, but an amazing interviewer and facilitator. He's like a Howard Stern of content in a way. So I do love Pat Mayo, and I appreciated him having me on. Go watch that on DraftKings. All right, guys, I'm out of here. I'm going to go run. Appreciate all of you. Subscribe.